Hey everyone, we've got a new player of the week selection on eFootball. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description, so if there's a particular player you want to hear about, just click the description, there'll be a link to take you straight to him. So let's have a look at who we've got. We'll start with the lowest rated. You will notice we've got 4 players 92 rated, all the other 7 are 93, so they're all pretty similar rated this week, to be honest. All 5 stars as well. We'll start with Aubameyang. So we've got a goal poacher. Awareness is decent 85, but not brilliant. Finishing at 90 is great. Most noticeable thing about this card, 95 speed, 85 acceleration. For a 34-year-old striker, he is rapid. Jumping is alright. Physical, not too bad. Balance is pretty bad. On the ball, he's not good. Heading 72 is not brilliant. They have given him the heading skill. They've also given him one-touch pass. So that's a good addition. Already got first-time shot, most important one. He's got acrobatic finishing as well, so... yeah, he might not be bad from crosses. 6'1". He's not going to be brilliant in the air, but it might be alright from crosses with the skills he's got. But yeah, he's a striker with some qualities. Obviously, the finishing and the pace stand out the most. Awareness isn't bad; it could be better. But as I mentioned, on the ball he's really not great, and the balance isn't brilliant either. So when you get on the ball with him, you're going to notice that. So he's not the best card. Inconsistent form as well is not great. Although if he gets A or B form, that won't be an issue. But yeah, I think for people who are a fan of Aubameyang, maybe some Arsenal fans would like him for a kind of Arsenal past and present squad, stuff like that. But beyond that, he does have great pace, good finishing, could be effective, but there are some obvious weaknesses there. So on the whole, not a brilliant card. Then we have another striker, Zirkzee. So different to Aubameyang, whereas Aubameyang's got some real strengths and a bunch of fairly weak areas. Zirkzee is more of a kind of all-rounder. You know, the attacking awareness and finishing both mid-80s is okay, but not brilliant. On the ball is kind of okay. Low pass at 74 is actually decent for a striker. Pace is decent, but not amazing. Physical contact at 81 is a strong boy. He's also 6'4", so he's tall. 97 kilograms. This is a big, strong boy. Balance isn't brilliant though, so something to keep in mind. But with that physical strength, and he's not too bad on the ball. He should be a presence physically. Looking at his skills, he doesn't have anything for heading or his priority. So with his height and build, that's a shame that he's not got more to be good on the end of crosses, though he does have acrobatic finishing. Soul control is nice. First time shot, most important one for striker. Through passing, he does have 74 low pass, so his passing should be decent for a striker. Track back, keep in mind his stamina is only 74, so with that track back skill, he might get tired. You might want to put counter target on him. Super sub, so that's an interesting one. Super sub, so he's an interesting one. Big, strong guy, decent pace. The other thing to note with this guy, he's a dummy runner. Dummy runner is not everyone's favourite play style for a striker. What that means is he's going to make a lot of runs out wide to the flanks and try and take a defender with him to kind of open up some space in the middle of the pitch. Can be very effective if you use him right. If that's a play style that suits the way you play, you've got other players who are going to run in behind him into the box, into the spaces that he creates. It can be very effective, but it's not the playing style for everyone. I'm not personally a big fan. I like my strikers to just stay in the middle and to be there to score goals themselves. But some people will like that playing style though. And like I say, for a guy who's got decent pace, but he's a very big, strong guy, he's a little bit different. I think that's the real positive with this card. You know, he's not an elite level card by any means, but with the physique he's got and his playing style, he's certainly a bit different, and he's a super sub as well. So I think even though he's not a brilliant card to pick up, it'd certainly be quite an interesting one. And this one's interesting as well. So Doucouré from Everton, normally a box-to-box. They made him a whole player. Popular playing style for an attacking midfielder. So skill-wise, they've given him first-time shot. Already had long-range shooting. Soul control, which is always nice. One-touch pass, through passing, weighted pass. So his passing should be good for a centre midfielder or an attacking midfielder. Man marking, interception, and fighting spirit. So good defensive skills as well, especially if he's a box-to-box. But he is a whole player this time. You can play him as a DMF, but I don't think that defensive awareness is high enough. I think you've definitely got to play him centre mid or attacking mid to get the most out of him. If you do that, then those defensive attributes become a bonus. Pace is okay for a midfielder. Physical contact 82 is pretty decent. Balance not great though. Got to keep in mind with Doucouré, the type of player he is. He's not the type of player who's going to be dribbling and skilling his way past defenders. He's more of a physical presence. The stamina's good there. Looking at the attributes down the left, like I say, not great dribbling, but tight possession's alright. Ball control is excellent at 90. Low pass at 87 is good. And he's got those passing skills, remember. So he's got one-touch pass, through passing, weighted pass. He's got 87 low pass. So, yeah, and 76 for finishing is not too bad, especially with first-time shot and long-range shooting. Attacking awareness is okay. With a manager boost, you should get that up to about 80 in the game plan. So, yeah, on the whole, like I say, most attacking midfielders tend to be, not necessarily small, but usually probably a bit smaller than Doucouré and more kind of nimble, good on the ball. So in terms of his attributes, and especially his kind of physique and the fact he's a strong guy, he's going to be a bit different to most. He might not be everyone's cup of tea in that position if you prefer players to dribble with a lot in those areas of the pitch. But at the same time, like I said with Zirkzee, it could be something a little bit different. And maybe if you're playing a game where, you've got him on the bench and you've got attacking midfielders who aren't the biggest and they keep getting out-muscled by maybe Vieira, Zakaria, players like that on the opposition team. Maybe Doucouré could be an interesting one to put on and have more of a physical presence there. And like I say, he's got that decent ball control, very decent ball control, and he's got very nice passing as well. So, yeah, again, same kind of situation to Zirkzee. He's not an elite level card by any means, but he's something a little bit different. So he could be an interesting one to pick up. And we've got Barcola from PSG. So, talented youngster. The only real change they've made with Barcola, they've given him long-range curler. So, some dribbly skills there, soul control is nice, but long range curler they've given him, that's the only real end product he's got skill wise. In terms of his attributes, 81 finishing, so his long range curler should be decent, albeit not a great deal of curl, but he can finish. Passing is not the best. On the ball, tight possessions not brilliant. Ball control is okay, but the dribbling is great at 90. The speed and acceleration both 90 plus, so he's rapid and he can dribble. That's what you want from a wide forward, really. That's where he's going to play. You can play wide left or right. Not got the attacking awareness to play as a centre forward, and I think being right-footed and with that long-range curler, I think you're going to be using him on the left to get the most out of him. As much as he does have great pace and dribbling, not much physical contact, and his balance isn't great either. So you're going to have to make sure you make the best of his pace and his dribbling, because when defenders get up close and start engaging with him, he's not the strongest. So keep that in mind. He's a player who's, he's not brilliant across the board, but he does have some great strengths. So if you play to his strengths, he could be a pretty effective one. Then we have Lacazette, so our second former Arsenal striker. So Lacazette, pretty good awareness, pretty good finishing, not too bad on the ball. Low pass 75 is pretty decent for a striker. Not the best pace. Physical contact's not brilliant, but could be lower. Balance is decent at 82. Not great stamina. Looking at the skills, so Lacazette, they've given him, I think they've taken away penalty specialist, given him one-touch pass. That's a nice addition for a deep line forward especially. Keep that in mind, he's a deep line forward. So one-touch pass now as well as through passing, and he's got 75 low pass. So he's got pretty nice passing for a centre forward. First time shot, the most important one for a striker, obviously. Outside of that, not a great deal going on. Again, though, track back, keep that in mind. He's got track back, stamina 74. So that could really cause him to get tired pretty quickly. And again, you might want to put counter target on him if that concerns you. But as I mentioned, deep line forward, he's got one-touch passing, through passing, 75 low pass. So he's got decent passing as a centre forward, deep line forward. But looking at his attributes, is he really built to be a deep line forward? Personally, I would like a player to be better on the ball. If he's going to be playing as a deep line forward, he'll be dropping deep. He won't be as quick or aggressive in his attacking, his moves forward into the box. He's going to be loitering around, dropping into the build-up a bit more. I would like him to be a bit better on the ball for that playing style. I'd like him to be a little bit stronger physically for that as well, or at least to have some good pace to be able to turn and speed away from a defender. He's a bit lacking in those areas. So ultimately, yeah, he looks fairly tidy. I think looking at the attributes, he'd probably be more suited to a fox in the box play style. As a deep line forward, I just don't think the attributes match up to that play style very well. So I think like with Aubameyang, if you're maybe an Arsenal fan, Lyon fan, if you want him for one of your kind of theme squads, could be a fun one to pick up. But I think on the whole, it's not a brilliant card. And then we have Marcos Llorente. So when I first looked at this box, this guy stood out to me because he's usually very good. I was quite excited to see how good he is. And one of the best things about Llorente is that he can play all over. Defensive mid, centre mid, attacking mid, SS, right midfield, right back. I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed with this card. And the reason I'm so disappointed with this card is that looking at the way his attributes are kind of balanced, he doesn't seem to be particularly well suited to most of his positions, which is one of the best things normally about Llorente. So you start with the pace. He's got great pace. They've got him down as a right midfielder, box to box. So box to box is active right midfield. He's going to get up and down. He's going to cover a lot of ground. Good stamina to allow for that. But great pace. It can be there can be good pace playing out wide. Physical contact's not too bad. Balance is not good. Gotta keep that in mind. Balance only 68. Defensively, he's okay. It depends where you play him, but he's not brilliant defensively, but he's okay. This is where it starts to get interesting because on the ball control 79, tight possession 75. Yes, he can dribble at 83, but the control and tight possession, there's no way I'm going to play someone in the middle of the park with those attributes. So this is what I mean about the disappointment, is that normally he's a guy who can play all over the pitch, but with those attributes on the ball, he's not playing defensive mid, centre mid, attacking mid, or SS for me. He's just not going to be comfortable enough on the ball. And with the passing as well, it's not disastrously bad, but only 81 low pass especially. It's not great passing. So this guy for me, he's not going to be playing anywhere through the middle. I'm thinking only right midfield and right back. I think both those positions he would be pretty effective, to be fair. But lofted pass at 80. Yes, he has pinpoint crossing. That's the skill they've added to him. I think is it the only skill? No, they're giving him one touch pass as well. So that's a good addition. But that just makes it even more of a shame that his attributes, in my opinion, aren't good enough to play through the centre, because one touch pass would really transform him if you got that skill on another version of him. I've had a couple of versions that I've trained up and they're great through the middle, pretty much any position you play him. But with the passing not being great, it's a shame that they've now given him one touch pass. But through passing, pinpoint crossing, first time shot, long range curler. So when he gets into the opposition half, he does have some good skills there. And down towards the bottom, man marking, track back, interception, fighting spirit. They're good defensive skills. For me personally, because his crossing's not better than it is and his passing's not better than it is, I don't think I'd want him on the right. And like I say, with the passing and his on the ball attributes there, I wouldn't play him through the centre either. For me, I'm just going to look at this card as a straight up right back. And if you consider this guy just as a right back, really good pace, defenses are okay. For a right back, he's actually quite decent down here. And looking at the skills, as I mentioned, he's got that pinpoint crossing, one touch passing, through passing. If he's playing as a right back, suddenly that's really helpful. Man marking, trap back, interception, fighting spirit. I think looking at this card as a specialist right back, it's a very good card. The balance for me is probably the only real big concern as a right back. I'd like it to be higher. You have to be careful with that. But beyond that, as a right back, yeah, I think a really, really strong card. But like I say, it's the disappointment that you've got a version of Llorente, especially now they're giving him one touch pass, that, in my opinion, just isn't good enough statistically to play through the middle in all the other positions he's got. But if you can see past that disappointment, and it's just my opinion, but looking at this card as a specialist right back, I think it's a very good card. Then we have our goalkeeper, Martínez from Villa. So, huge surprise. We've got a goalkeeper who can't jump. Konami are continuing their recent obsession with the idea that elite goalkeepers can't jump for some reason, but we're getting used to that, aren't we? So 65 for jumping. He is 6'5", so he's a very tall guy. You're probably not going to notice that jumping too much. Looking at the core goalkeeping attributes though, awareness is good, reflexes are good, 90 for reach is excellent. For a guy who's 6'5", he's got really good coverage. Parring's the only one that's not so great at 79, so his parrying might not be the best, but catching's decent though, 88. That's probably one of the highest catching attributes we've seen on one of these keepers for a while. So yeah, on the whole, very good keeper. Parring's not the best, but for a big tall guy, he's got great reach and the awareness and reflexes as well. He should be a very effective shot stopper. As always lately, he can't jump, but I'm not sure for a guy as tall as him how much you'll notice that. So I think on the whole, that's a pretty good goalkeeper card. And then we have Richarlison. So they always put someone in who's played well against Newcastle. Thanks, Konami. So, some qualities with Richarlison. Pretty good on the ball. Awareness 88 is good. Finishing 84, it could be worse, but I'd like that to be higher on a 5-star striker. 84 is not the best. Heading 81, jumping 89, physical 79, and he's got aerial superiority. So he should be pretty good in the air, Richarlison. He's not huge. He's not going to be an absolute beast in the air, but he can win headers. He should be right from crosses. He's got acrobatic finishing as well and the heading skill. So should be decent from crosses, Richarlison. First time shot, most important one. One touch pass as well. I think that's what they've added. I think that's the only new skill that he's got on this card. So one touch pass is a nice one, although passing is not brilliant. It will just compensate for the fact this passing is not the best. Slight areas of concern down the right. I don't think that's as quick as it should be. I think he should be quicker than that. 77 speed, 80 acceleration for Richarlison. I think they've done him dirty a little bit. We mentioned the aerials. Balance is not great. That's the other concern. 69 balance. So, yes, he's decent on the ball, but he's not got outstanding pace and his balance is poor. So, you're going to have to be careful not to get caught on the ball with him. Stamina 79 is okay for a striker. But, yeah, he's a guy with qualities. He's good in the air. He's pretty good on the ball for a striker. The awareness is good, but the finishing could be better. The pace could be better. And the balance is a little bit poor as well. So, there are some qualities there, and it's a pretty good card on the whole, but it's not an outstanding one. There are some weaknesses to keep in mind, but yeah, certainly some qualities there. It's a decent card on the whole. Then we have Senesi, so we've got a couple of centre-backs coming up. So, Senesi's been changed from build-up to destroyer. Defensive awareness is great at 91. The other defensives mid-80s are okay. He's fairly tidy on the ball for a centre-back. He's got some 70-plus attributes down there. Pace is pretty average for centre back. Jumping 87 is good. Physical 83. So aerially and physically he's okay. 6'1". He's not brilliant physically, but he's not bad. Stamina 83 is good for a centre back. Looking at the skills, I think they've just added fighting spirit, and that's about it. Long range shooting and acrobatic finishing. I mean, not the most important skills for a centre back, let's be honest. But heading and aerial superiority, important ones. Interception, blocker, acrobatic clearance. The one he's really lacking is man marking. Man marking is quite an important one for centre back, so that's a bit of a shame. Outside of that, he's got pretty much all the skills you would want. And like I say, there's no real weakness with his attributes. There's not a lot that's outstanding. Defensive awareness is the one real strength he's got at 91. So he's got great awareness. Outside of that, he's pretty much okay across the board. And he does lack man marking. So man marking a bit of a miss. Only the awareness really outstanding from the attributes. So it's not a brilliant centre back card on the whole, but it's certainly not a bad one. And then we have Miguel Gutiérrez. So, interesting one. So he's positioned top left in the pack. So you kind of instinctively think, well, this is the best one. But as I mentioned earlier, we've got 7 93 rated cards. He's just, they're all pretty similar rated really. And this is certainly not the best card in the pack. So like with Llorente, wide midfield, box to box. That will be an active play style. He will be getting up and down, covering a lot of ground. 87 stamina is pretty decent for that. Very good pace, 88, 89. On the ball, 86, pretty good dribbling, but beyond that, it's not really anything to get excited about. Ball control 80 is okay. Tight possession 70 is not okay. Low pass 80 is alright, wide midfield, but lofted pass is decent to be fair, 84. And he's got pinpoint crossing. Look at the skills. He doesn't have a lot of skills, but pinpoint crossing with 84 for lofted pass. So he's got a decent cross on him. They've given him interception as well. So if you want to play him at left back, he's got left back as a position and he's got interception, so he could play there, but his defensive attributes aren't great. So personally, I don't think I'll play him as a left back. I don't think he's strong enough. I think with it, the fact that he can cross and he's got decent dribbling and good pace, I think you're looking at him as a left midfielder, to be honest. But attacking awareness not brilliant, defensive awareness not brilliant. I just don't think this is a great card. I think it might be a card that's best as a wing back. If you play wing backs, looking at him as a kind of all-rounder who's going to get up and down the left flank, and he's got a decent cross on him, he's decent on the ball, good pace. Might be best as a wing-back. Going forward, I don't think he's lacking skills, and he's not brilliant on the ball. Crossing's decent, but not amazing. I think he's a solid left midfielder, but not an amazing one. And I think as a left-back, he's a bit weak defensively. As a left wing-back, pretty solid all around, could be pretty effective, but on the whole, it's not a particularly exciting card for me. And finally, Bremer. So Bremer, like with Senesi, they made him a destroyer. He's normally an extra front man. Destroyer this time. So awareness and tackling both great at 90. He's aggressive. Defensive engagement 84. Could be a bit higher. It's not disastrously bad, but it'd be nice if that was a bit higher on a 5-star centre-back. Pace is alright for a centre-back. Physical contact's great at 90. 82 jumping, 81 heading. So those two aren't amazing, but he's 6'2", and he does have aerial superiority, so he'll be pretty solid in the air. Heading and aerial superiority, man marking, interception, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance, fighting spirit, good selection of skills. The one that he's missing really is blocker. It would be nice if he had blocker. That's the only one he's really missing. So like with Senesi, he's got qualities. Defensive engagement I'd like to be a little bit higher, and it would be nice if he had blocker, but on the whole, he's a pretty strong centre, to be honest. It's not an amazing card. Like I say, missing blocker is a bit of a shame. Engagement could be higher, but apart from that, without being a particularly exciting card, it's a solid centre-back. So, there you go. As I say, they're all pretty similar rated. I don't think there are any major duds in there, but there's no one in there that particularly excites me either. I think Llorente, if you use another right back, is the best card in there. I think Zirkzee and Doucouré are quite interesting. They're both a bit different, something a bit different to have in your squad maybes. But beyond that, and I mean Martínez, to be fair, is a good keeper. But yeah, I think it's a pack that's got some decent cards in there, but nothing particularly amazing. On the whole, it's probably not one of the better selections we've had recently. So there you go. Hopefully you found that useful. Keep your eyes peeled on the channel because there's a couple more player face videos because there's still some more player faces that were added in the update that I've still not covered yet. So those videos are coming out soon. I'm hoping over the next few days to upload reviews of the nominating contract packs. So we've got the club icons and the match pass players and also the Japanese and Brazilian leagues. So hopefully I'll be getting those videos up over the next few days. So keep your eyes peeled. There'll be quite a few videos getting uploaded. But yeah, there you go. Hopefully you found that useful. Thank you for watching as always. I'll catch you next time.